last week I had a job interview. It didn't go amazing. The interviewer, let's call him Derek. Derek did most of the talking. I barely got to say a word. All I could do was nod or say yes. So that's the vibes of the interview, where I could hardly say a word. And then Derek asked me a question that had nothing to do with the job I was applying for. He asked me what my words per minute were for typing. And this had nothing to do with the job, so I did not test myself, and I haven't tested myself on my typing abilities in a hot minute, like, I don't know, a decade. So I didn't know. And while I was kind of floundering there and basically saying, I don't know, I haven't taken a test in a while, Derek says, well, average words per minute is 60. Can you do 60? And I again had to say, I don't know. I haven't tested myself. I think I'm pretty good, but I can't say for sure. Probably a very bad way to answer that, but I ended up feeling like an idiot there, and he seemed very happy about that. Okay, I get home, talk about it with my husband, just talk about the interview in general. And then it wasn't until a few days later that I mentioned to my husband about the 60 words per minute thing. I'm just like, yeah, he said the average words per minute was 60, and I didn't know what mine was. And then my husband's like, whoa, 60? The average words per minute is not 60, it's 40. And I'm just like, 40? But Derek told me 60. Derek! And that's when I started getting like a little frustrated. Like, well, of all the nerve, you little... trying to make me look like an idiot when the average person can type 40 words per minute. Okay, I see how it is. I see. Some people get off on making the other people look like idiots. I get it, okay. Professional typists average 70 words per minute. So I don't know what that guy was trying to do, but I did not appreciate that as soon as I found out. However, there is more to this story. Later, my husband pulled up Keybr, a typing test practice website to work on your typing, and he pulled it up on the big screen because we had the HDMI hooked up because we were going to watch stuff. And I walk into the room, and there on the big TV is Keybr with the typing test. And my chair was out of the way because we were trying to get everything out of the way for watching stuff. And so I see it up there, and I just stand there at the desk and start doing it. I start typing. I'm like, oh man, this is really fun. I was getting into it. I'm like, yeah. And then my husband like gave me his rolly chair. And so I sat down on there, which wasn't my correct height or anything, and I just started going, right? And I don't have an ergonomic keyboard or good setup. The desk squishes your legs. It's just not a good setup at all. And there I'm going, okay? There's what's happening here. 13 minutes later, I've done 40 lessons in it, and I look up, and would you know it, my average words per minute was 74. 74 words per minute was my average. Not having any practice, not really even trying, just experimenting with the program, not having a good sitting setup or anything. And my average words per minute is above the professional average. My top words per minute was 101 words per minute with an accuracy percentage of 97%, which is above average as well. This was a very aha moment for me because, okay, on one hand, I can be mad at Derek, and be like, oh, what a jerk, you know, trying to make me look like a fool just because I didn't know what my words per minute was, so he could make me feel like I was unworthy of the job or unworthy of getting paid enough or something like that. So I can be upset at that, whatever, you know, okay. But then I had this ability that I could have bragged about in order to try to get a job. I had this ability, but I did not know it. I did not know my worth as a typist. I did not know my average words per minute. I did not test myself. I did not find a way to quantify that. And because of this, I did not know my worth, and I could not call him on his bullshit and say, you are wrong, average words per minute is 40, and in fact, I average 74 words per minute. Wouldn't that have been nice to be able to say, holy frijoles? So I am mostly mad at myself in this story. I believe I have learned a very valuable lesson, and I wanted to share it with you. And that is, know your worth so that you don't get walked over, so that you don't get people just making you feel like trash and just putting you down because they're like, they're ignorant in this, so I get to feel better about myself by putting them down. You don't want that to happen to you. Don't get walked over. Don't be a doormat. Don't let people define your worth, and just you define your worth, okay? So I think that is a very important thing that I learned. Mainly is, I don't care that much about typing. Like, I know it comes in handy, and I do some writing. I do some writing, okay? But it's not like I'm just like doing this all day long, right? And it's not really my passion to go get a job as something with typing. At least where I need speed typing, you know what I mean? Okay. So just because I don't care that much about this skill that I apparently have, it's cool, it's great to know I'm skilled in something. But in this situation where I didn't know I had this ability because I didn't test myself, how many other areas in my life is this happening as well? When you think about it that way, it's like, holy frijoles. What if I have other skills, other abilities, and I just don't know because I haven't tested myself? I haven't gotten uncomfortable over there. I haven't pushed my boundaries or grown or experimented or taken quizzes or tried to get certificates in things. I just wonder how many other things I am skilled at that I don't know because I haven't pushed myself. I'm always tempted to think I am just a worthless piece of crap, and I let other people put that on me too. It's like I receive it onto myself. I'm sick of it. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to let other people define my worth. My worth is not found in their opinions. I hope this can be a good eye-opening moment for you too. If you already know all this stuff, that's fantastic, and I applaud you. Keep going, keep learning, keep expanding. Something else I wanted to talk about is, let's say I went into that job interview and I knew my words per minute, and he said that, he's like, oh, 60, whatever, and I'm just like, you know what, fool? I can do 74 words per minute, and my accuracy is 97%, and my top word per minute is 101. What now? Who would want to hire that kind of person anyways, right? I don't want to be that jerk. So there's got to be a balance here between this weak, piddly little person who just lets herself get made fun of, and this jerk of a person who's just bragging about what they can do. What's the balance here? And this is something I have learned about recently. Have you been exposed to the word meekness? Meekness is kind of like an older word that we don't use too much nowadays. But when you hear the word meek, what comes to mind? Oh, I'm a meek little lamb. Oh, I just will bow to everything you say. That's the impression I get when I hear the word meek. Maybe you do too. I have done some more research. My husband first got me started on this. He told me about this, and then I've done some research as well about the word meekness. It is, now we're looking, a lot of people look at this in the context of the Bible, because the Bible talks a lot about blessed are the meek, or the meek will inherit the earth. So does that mean those people are going to inherit the earth? Really? Is that what that means? So when you look up in the Greek, work up meek in the Greek. The Greek word is praus. That's the Strong's Blue Letter Bible App Dictionary. Praus. Now, praus, in that culture, in that time, apparently it was associated with a war horse. About wild horses that they would capture and train in preparation for frickin' battle. These horses needed to be, like, I only heard a little bit about what like war horses, what they go through, what they have to do. It's insane. They have to go through crazy death, blood, everything going crazy, and they have to stay strong. They have to keep going. They can't show fear. They can't be afraid. And so the essence of praus is strength under control, controlled strength. Can you imagine? Like, that is not what we think of when we hear the word meek anymore. Strength under control, power under control. That's not at all what comes to mind when I think of meek. There's something beautiful about knowing, having the knowledge that you are dangerous, or that you have power, or you have this ability. And there's a situation here that maybe it's going to call for those abilities. Maybe it won't. These people are being all crazy over here, making fun of you or whatever. And you know that you have those abilities. And you're reading the situation, and you know you could totally obliterate these people, right? You could just mic drop them or just destroy them, right? And yet you choose not to. That would be an example of meekness. You have this strength, and you're choosing not to use it. That's meekness. Meekness is not weakness. Meekness is not tyranny. Meekness is having power, having strength, and determining whether or not you should be able to use it. Sometimes you do have to use it, but probably most of the time you don't. But having the discernment enough to judge if you need to use your strength. You know, it makes me think of like a Swiss Army knife, or just like this epic pocket knife, right? You got this epic pocket knife, and it has so many tools inside. But let's say you just think all it is one blade in that knife. Everyone's walking by you, pointing and laughing, like, oh, you're just a stupid pocket knife with a single blade. What a worthless piece of crap. And you believe that because you haven't explored inside to see all these other features, all these other tools, all these other skills or abilities. You haven't looked in there. You haven't pushed yourself out of your comfort zone to look at what's deep inside. Now imagine these people. Now imagine that they're saying these things, laughing at you, saying, oh, you're just a single blade. Ha, ha, ha. But you know you have an arsenal of tools inside that they can't see. But you know it. Doesn't that make all the difference? Maybe you keep it a secret. Keep it secret for now. Maybe a situation would have to happen where all of a sudden you explode out with all your tools and all your features, and they're just like, whoa. You know, I was trying to think of a scene. I'm sure there are many scenes from movies with this kind of situation. If you can think of one, let me know. I'm just like, I know there's gonna be these scenes where the small person or the person you'd least expect just suddenly came out with all this amazingness. Well, getting a phone call. I'll call him back later. So, that's what I'm dealing with right now. Frustrated at myself for being weak when I should have been able to be meek. But I can't do that unless I test myself. Unless I explore and take, sometimes it's literal tests, like the Keybr example. So where could you do that in your life? Don't be weak, be meek. Meekness is strength under control. War horse. Remember, you can be a war horse. How epic is that? I guess that's all I have. I better call my brother-in-law back. All right. Thanks, and let me know your thoughts.